Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at solving multi-step inequalities. So first, I'd like for you to pause your video and write these steps in your notes. Now that you've written your steps in your notes, these are the same as solving equations, except the last step is, remember, we flip the inequality sign if we multiply or divide by a negative number. So let's practice this. Example 1. So first we have 4x plus 26 minus 2x plus 11 is greater than 49. So just as always, I'm going to split this at the symbol, at the inequality sign, and I'm just going to talk through my steps. First, I don't see fractions or decimals. Next, I don't see the distributive property on either side. However, I do notice on the left-hand side there are like terms. I have 4x minus 2x, and then I also have 26 plus 11. So now I'm going to combine those. 4x minus 2x is 2x, and 26 plus 11 is 37, and that's greater than 49. So I don't see any more like terms. So now I'm going to start isolating the variable. And the way we do that is inverse operations. So I'm going to subtract 37 from both sides. And I'm left with 2x is greater than 12. I still notice I have something with my variable, so I need to divide both sides by 2. So x is greater than 6. And since I didn't divide by a negative, see, this was a positive 2 that I divided by, I don't flip my inequality sign. I leave it alone. Example 2. So let's take a look at negative 2 times 3x plus 15 is less than or equal to 42. So again, I'm going to talk through my steps. First, I don't see fractions or decimals. However, I do, for the second step, see the distributive property. So I'm going to do that first. Also, I'm going to split this. So I'm going to bring down my less than or equal to 42. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times 15 is negative 30. Next, I don't see like terms, so I'm going to move on and I'm going to isolate the variable. So that variable is x. First, I add or subtract. So I'm going to add 30 to both sides. And when I do that, I'm left with negative 6x is less than or equal to 72. I still have something with the variable, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. So x is, now since I divided by a negative, I'm going to go ahead and flip that inequality sign. And 72 divided by negative 6 is negative 12. So x is greater than or equal to negative 12. Example 3. We have negative 2x plus 6 times x minus 8 plus 10 is less than 2. So I'm going to split that at the inequality sign. The first thing that I notice is I don't have fractions or decimals, but I do have the distributive property right here. So I'm going to bring down everything that's not a part of that so I don't forget anything. So now I'm going to distribute that 6 through. So 6 times 1x is 6x. 6 times negative 8 is negative 48. My next step says to combine like terms. And I notice I have negative 2x plus 6x. And then I have negative 48 plus 10. So let's combine those like terms. I have 4x. Negative 48 plus 10 is negative 38 is less than 2. And now I'm going to isolate my variable. So I'm going to add 38 to both sides. We always add or subtract first, whichever is the opposite. So I've got 4x is less than 40. I still have something that's called a coefficient that I need to get rid of on that variable. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So x is, and notice I divided by a positive. It's your number that's on the bottom. I divided by a positive, so I do not flip my inequality sign. And 40 divided by 4 is 10. So x is less than 10. Example 4. So I have 21x minus 9 is greater than or equal to 18x plus 12. So split that at the inequality sign. I don't see fractions or decimals. I don't see the distributive property. I don't see like terms on each side. So what I mean is I don't have like terms on this side, and I don't see like terms on this side. So now I'm going to start isolating the variable. But what do we notice? I have variables on both sides, so I have to add or subtract to get those together. I like my letters on the left, so I'm going to subtract 18x from both sides. And when I do that, I'm left with 3x minus 9 is greater than or equal to 12. I'm going to keep working using opposites to isolate that variable. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. When I do that, I'm left with 3x is greater than or equal to 12 plus 9 is 21. And again, I still need to get rid of that times 3. So the opposite of times 3 is to divide by 3. So x is greater than or equal to 7. I did not flip my inequality sign because I divided by a positive 3. And then last but not least, let's look at example 5. So I have 2 times negative 3x plus 1 is less than negative 5x plus 14. So split that at our inequality sign. I don't see fractions or decimals I need to clear. I do, however, notice I have the distributive property. So I'm going to bring everything else down just so I don't forget it. So I've got 2 times negative 3x is negative 6x. 2 times 1 is a positive 2. I don't see like terms on each side. And remember what that means is there are no like terms on the left. There are no like terms on the right. However, I do, now that I'm going to isolate my variable, notice I have letters on both sides, or variables on both sides. So I'm going to add 5x to get all my letters on the left. So I'm left with negative 1x plus 2 is less than 14. Still going to work on isolating that variable, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. Negative 1x is less than 14 take away 2 is 12. I still notice I need to divide both sides by negative 1. And remember, our final step is to decide, do I need to flip the inequality sign? And yes, I do, because I divided by a negative 1. So this is x is greater than, and 12 divided by negative 1 is negative 12.